Alright, everybody, back with another video. Today, I want to do another video on gun control. But I promise you, this is probably an argument for gun control that you've never heard before, because I hadn't heard it until I actually came across it recently, looked into it some more, and I was like, holy crap, it's like the best argument in favor of gun control ever. Or in favor of less gun control, sorry, because I'm strongly opposed to gun control, things like that, taking away all guns like they did in Australia, or places like the UK, things like that. I'm very opposed to that, right? So I want to try and argue my point on why people should be able to have firearms, right? Why we shouldn't ban all guns, things like that. Get rid of all guns. And I know people say they don't want to ban all guns. They just want to ban semi-automatic rifles, right? And when you ask them why, they say, well, the reason I want to ban semi-automatic rifles is because they kill people. Well, handguns kill way more people than semi-automatic rifles do. Like, way more. It's insane. Most gun shootings are from handguns, right? So if they're really concerned with less people dying, then the logical thing would be to ban handguns. So either they're lying to you and what they really want is to ban handguns too, or they're just drawing a false line between more people dying from semi-automatic assault rifles, as they would call them. So hopefully that makes sense, right? If you really care about people dying and that's the reason you want gun control, then why not ban the guns that do the majority of the killing, right? That would be the most logical thing to do. Anyway, let's get on to my point. So, I want to go over, and I'm really going to be the most generous I can with these statistics. I want to be generous to the people that want gun control and that want guns banned, because if I use statistics that aren't as generous, then it makes them look insane. So I'm going to give them the most generous statistics I can that I've found, and I'll read everything out, cite things like that. So, total firearm murders, 2011, came to 8,583, according to the FBI. Now, in that same time, the total murders committed by rifles, all rifles, not just semi-automatic rifles, were 323, right? So again, I want to be generous to you guys. I'm giving you all rifle shootings, not just semi-automatic ones, because I want to be a little generous with these facts. Only 323. That's 3% of all murders in the country. 3%. Hammers and clubs kill half as many people as rifles. Hands and feet murder twice as many, and knives kill 5 times more Americans than all rifles combined. Preventable medical errors kill about 98,000 people per year. Right? Medical malpractice kills more than 12 times as many people as are murdered in the U.S. each year. That's more than 300 times the number of people killed by all rifles. 300 times. That's insane. And yet, no one calls about limits on hammers or knives or doctors or hospitals. Nobody does that. And it makes sense why nobody does that. Because the good we perceive from having hammers and knives and doctors far outweighs their perceived harm. So let's apply this same logic to gun control. Study after study show that the firearms prevent anywhere from 800,000 to 3 million violent crimes every year. Now let me explain why that's such a wide range of numbers, because you think 800,000 to 300 million, or not 300 million, 3 million, 800,000 to 3 million, right? You say, well, that's such a wide range of numbers, that doesn't seem like an accurate study, right? And this is what virtually all of them say. Some have a lower estimate for the most, some have a higher. Again, I'm trying to be very generous with these numbers, and I'll even go into it with the lowest estimates and things. Anyway, the reason that gap is so big is because most cases where a conceal and carry weapon is used to stop a crime, right, it's used defensively, the gun is never shot, right? It's pulled out, someone sees, oh crap, he has a gun, I'm getting out of here, right? So it's very hard to keep track of all these different things. But with the lowest estimate of 800,000, so I'm being very generous and giving you the lowest estimate, that would mean that 100 times more violent crimes were prevented with firearms than the total murders committed by firearms. That's 100 times as many. 100 times. So again, if you don't want to ban hammers and knives and doctors and hospitals because the good far outweighs the bad, I just proved to you that the good from firearms far outweighs the bad by 100 times as much. So it's a matter of staying consistent, right? Why not talk about banning hospitals? Right? If you're going to agree with me that, well, we don't talk about it because the good outweighs the bad, it does too with guns. Right? So that's what I don't understand is how no one talks about, banning hammers and knives, and it makes sense why no one does that. But then it doesn't make sense why they then turn around and say, let's ban guns. Right? Because guns, they do way more good than they do bad. I just read it off to you, and I gave you the most generous numbers. Right? I gave you the lowest estimate is 100 times as many. Do you want to go to the highest estimate and see how many more firearms prevent crimes than they do murder people? It would be just unforgiving to people on the left. It's just so insane to me how so many people can call for this kind of gun control. So that's going to be the end of the video today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that argument. Something you don't probably hear too much is the argument of the good far outweighing the bad, but it's just something to think about. So that's going to be all for today, and I will see you guys in probably another video soon. Gonna try getting some more up more consistently. If you want to be in a video, please comment on this, or you can also message me on my Instagram at Jake Mangle. So see you guys in another video.